Kamala Harris is back on the boiler. In a recent article by Newsweek, Kamala Harris has asked questions about Joe Manchin, and here are some of the statements that she made. The title itself is disorienting. It says, Kamala Harris urges Dems not to give up on BBB, despite lack of support from Joe Manchin. So how exactly do they intend to pass any legislation in a divided Senate without a key member, without Joe Manchin, or without all Democrats on board? To that, Vice President Kamala says she's still hopeful that the Democrats can still pass President Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan, despite Joe Manchin's announcement that he would not vote for the $1.75 trillion social spending bill. When asked how she plans to extend key provisions of the bill like the child tax credit without Manchin's help in a divided Senate, Harris told CBS Margaret Brennan, "You don't give up. That's how we do it. We don't give up. That's how." You know, I like inspiration and motivation. I found it very useful. The works of Les Brown, Anthony Robbins, and many others. Very uplifting. But when it comes to politics, when it comes to navigating politics, getting actual provisions for American citizens, I can't just go on faith alone and inspiration alone. We need actual votes from actual people that are elected to actually pass legislation that impacts lives. I'm still trying to figure out what it is about Joe Manchin that Joe Biden will not challenge this man directly and squarely. Kamala Harris goes on to say, the stakes are too high. The stakes are too high for this to be in any way about a specific individual. Vice President Kamala Harris fails to understand, or at least to articulate, that the stakes are too high not to make this be about each and every individual Democratic senator, because every vote counts. Her remarks come just a day after Manchin told Fox News he would not back Biden's spending plan over concerns of inflation, the COVID-19 pandemic, and national debt. I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get there, Manchin said on Sunday. This is a no on this piece of legislation. I've tried everything I know to do. So yes, I'm critical of Kamala Harris. They put her out front on this issue. But does she have any leverage at all with Joe Manchin? Can Kamala Harris go to West Virginia and apply pressure to Joe Manchin? No. Can Joe Biden go to West Virginia and apply pressure to Joe Manchin effectively? No. Joe Biden is really not that popular. And he's really not that popular in West Virginia, okay? So going down to a state that voted 20%, 20 points ahead of Biden, or for Trump, they voted 20 points more for Trump than Biden. That's it, 20 points difference. I'm sorry, guys. I thought it was a 20-point difference. It was a 40-point difference. That's right, 70% of West Virginians voted for Donald Trump. Only 30% of West Virginians voted for Joe Biden. Joe Biden cannot go to West Virginia and change anything. It's not rocket science. I think Joe Biden knows if he goes down to West Virginia, he's going to be embarrassed. That's right. Joe Biden going to West Virginia and not having the outcome that he expects to have when he uses the megaphone against Joe Manchin will have a deleterious effect on his self-esteem, more so his character and his credibility. That's right. We talk about political capital. He'll have no capital. It'll be lowercase letters. I think Joe Biden's aware of the predicament that he's in. And instead of risking going down to West Virginia and leaning in on Joe Manchin, he prefers to do like Fat Joe and lean back. What Joe Biden obviously also prefers to do is to watch Kamala Harris dangle on this one. That's right, send Kamala Harris in to do a job that Joe Biden can't get done. That's what this looks like. This looks cowardly, in my opinion. And yes, we could spend all day going back and forth about Kamala Harris. And I'm happy to do so on a number of issues. I have very much concerns about Kamala Harris that I addressed. And I had concerns about Joe Biden that I addressed. But this looks like a cowardly Joe Biden, not willing to stick it to Joe Manchin. And it also looks like maybe his hands are tied because he's just not that guy. That's right. Joe Biden is just not the guy to get this done. So what does that leave for the rest of us? Well, I hope that they have another plan. Because as it stands now, Kamala Harris's hopes of inspiration, rallying the troops around and losing effort will not get the job done. Maybe they got to come up with a way to court some Republicans. You got to make up for the vote of Joe Manchin, don't you? But you got to hold Joe Biden ultimately responsible because Joe Biden, he's the commander-in-chief. And it's his legislation. I'm Real Tim Black. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Tim Black and that on Instagram. Joe Biden's job is to get his legislation done. It's going to require every Democrat in the Senate to get that done. You make the deals, you do what you got to do, squeeze the hands, go behind, like the Democrats usually do. They like going back behind closed doors and making deals, hammering it out. You know? Well, go hammer it out. Go get it done. Meanwhile, we'll be here waiting to see what you get done for the American people. Cut the check.